Welcome back. Now, so if someone asks you that these are the things I want in your project, so first thing what you have to think is the details what I have. Can GraphQL provide those details to me? Okay, so GraphQL is not a kind of magic to give you everything what you ask. So the developer who is designing that GraphQL, first they have to write a code to fetch whatever you are asking, right? So how you know for what things developer written a code to fetch, right? That's the tricky thing. Now here in the home screen, you just need the character biodata, okay, the description about his whole biodata. So that is something not GraphQL is doing. That means, let's say developer did not write code in the GraphQL to fetch the biodata, and now from your front end, if you in your query, if you ask to give me biodata, then you will get an error because GraphQL don't know how to resolve it, right? So that means before you query the GraphQL, first you need to know what GraphQL can provide you. So that we call as a GraphQL schema. So that's where when you go for sit in a project, first thing what you have to check is, so can you give me GraphQL schema so that I will go over it and understand what all different things this GraphQL can provide, so that based on that we will create our queries to fetch the data. Okay, now if developer provides you a schema, first you should be able to understand that schema, right? So to understand the schema, you need to know few things here. First is type. Okay, so in GraphQL there are three things which are main: type, fields, and arguments. Now let me explain them. So if you just Google GraphQL schema, just a schema, right? Let's see what we are getting. I'll go to images. Okay, so here you go. Yeah, so here type is an author. So basically, if you want to get the author first name, first you have to approach that type, and in that first name you have. So that means ID, first name, last name, post. These are the fields of the type called author. So in the GraphQL, behind the screens, there will be one graph, guys. Okay, connecting the nodes. You know how the graph is there, right? So you see the basically the graph here. So this is the GraphQL, and here you can see that how it is connecting the nodes. So that means here nodes are nothing but fields. So here the whole type author is one graph which is having ID, first name, last name, posts. Okay, these are the fields. Now if you want to get the first name of the author, so first you need to know in which type that first name field is present, and based on that you can write a query to call the and get the information about author first name. Now if you see our diagram, so here let's say I want the name of the character. Okay, so here GraphQL without types will definitely confuse, right? Because name of the character we have, name of the location we have, name of the episode we have. So what is the parent thing so that I can uniquely identify those characters? So in the back end, what developer does is he creates one mapping graph, and for that graph he will create a type name to hold that graph. That type name could be like get character details. In that type, all these are nodes. Okay, so now if you want to query this GraphQL, first you have to start querying this is the type, and once you give the type, then exactly it will go to that particular graph, and if you ask name, so it will obviously give the name of the character, and it will not be interfering with another type called location. So in GraphQL, there will be a set of types what developer will write, and each type you will have fields. It's just like in Java terminology, it's just like classes, guys. For every functionality, there will be one class, right? For getting character, they will create one character class, and you will have all the methods inside that. And for location details, you will have location class and all methods inside it. Similarly, in the GraphQL terminology, just imagine those as a types. Okay, so when you ask for a schema, then people will give you like this. This is the schema. Okay, this is one type, and these are the different fields I can ask. Okay, now the good thing here is in the schema, so you can see that first name is a string. So the real values will not be there, right? Real values is what you fetch, but schema will tell you that I can give you the first name from the type author. That first name data type will be string. That means whatever I am returning is a string. So make sure in your front end code that when you take back, give the data type as string. Okay, so that's where, right? The last name is string. ID, GraphQL is giving us an integer. If you try to treat it as a string in your front end code by retrieving the ID, you will get error. So that's why in schema, they will be clearly telling what are the types my GraphQL is supporting. And for each type, what are the different fields you can ask, and what are the different data types for those fields, so that you can type them, use correct data types in your front end code. Now, let's take one example so that you can get more clear picture. So I have developed one GraphQL API for you guys to practice. So this is the URL, our website rahulshettyacademy.com/gq/GraphQL. Okay, so if you hit this URL, you will see some GraphQL interface. So that means this is the place where I hosted my GraphQL server. Okay, now the one cool thing about GraphQL is once developer have designed a server in the backend, at the same time that server will also expose one front-end user interface like this. Okay, so that means whoever developed GraphQL, you can just ask them, can you send me the link to GraphQL Explorer, right? So this is a GraphQL Explorer that comes by default. Okay, nobody develops this. If you create one GraphQL server, inbuilt you will get this Explorer which you can open it. So you can see here docs. So that means all the documentation. I am talking about schema, right? Now if you want to test GraphQL, or if you want to interact with GraphQL, you need to know its documentation. That means the schema of GraphQL you need to know. So for that schema also you can learn directly from here. If you just select here query, and here you see there are a lot of things present here, query, mutations. We'll go one by one and I'll try to explain how each and everything works, right? Don't worry about it. Now, so there are a lot of items present here. Now let's say I want to choose a character. So select this character here. Here it says that character details. This is the type. Okay, there are a lot of types here. Now for this GraphQL, these are the different types. Okay, now for that, character is one of the type. The name of the type is character details. Now inside this type, if you go here, these are the different fields that type is exposing. Now if you need to know the name of the character, then you can actually get it by first traversing to that type, and inside the type, that character details can give the information about all these things. Now decide what you want. So that means GraphQL is telling you that, hey, these are all different things I can give you. Okay, now you ask me what you need in form of query. Now query me that I need status, I can give you name, I can give you. Okay, but if you ask me something, let's say coordinates, right? That is not present in this type, right? Then GraphQL cannot give you. So now to write a query, first you have to confirm if those are existing correctly so that your GraphQL can fetch. As I said, the first layer is a type. That means in Java terminology, it's like classes, guys. First, you have to go to that class, and inside that class, you have methods, right? So now, for example, let me take another episodes. This is one class. If you want to know the name of the episode result is the type name. And inside, if you go, there are different fields like info, result. These are the different things that it gives you. Okay, so now see, you might understand just 15-20% by now, don't worry, but when you start doing the practice, then you can correlate so many things here. And another thing, so you have seen a character details as one of the type, but we didn't discuss about this argument. So you know that these things it can provide, but when you ask character name, which character name it has to give, right? So that is something you send as an argument to this type. So this type is ready to give you anybody's character details, but that person's character, which character you want, that you need to ask, right? If you just say Rahul, that is one character, and my ID is 123. Okay, now ask me, give the character details of the character ID 123. What details you need? I need name of that 123, and then you will get Rahul as a output. And status, he is alive or not, that you will get. So argument is something which will help type to filter the results. Okay, all these are similar terminologies we use in methods, right? When you call a method, you send argument and then method return multiple things, something like that. Okay, so you will get more picture, as I said, in the coming lectures. Now if you select the string, you see that it says string is a scalar type. GraphQL supports multiple scalar types. Mostly 3 types you will see: integer, string, boolean will be the values which you can return. But apart from that, for origin, it is giving some custom object. So that means this is that another type, guys, another object. So now if you click on location details, see, this is another type which is having these fields. So that means all these fields will be returned. Location detail type fields all will be returned in the origin field. Okay, so I think if you already aware of JSON, how the JSON works, sometimes I can write like this, right? Name Rahul, this is how I can start. And if there is another object info, sometimes it will have nested JSON, right? Here again you will have some latitude and longitude. So that means here name return type is string, but info return type is, so in this case it's origin. Origin return type is another type object. So that means location details, type details are coming. So all this ID, name, type, dimension can go inside this. Okay, so the return type is not only just string, integer and boolean. You can also give another type as a return type for your fields. Okay, with this understanding, now you at least understood how to read the schema, right? Now if anybody asks you to just define how many types this GraphQL support, simply first ask them documentation. Okay, if they don't have documentation, just ask them, please provide your GraphQL server explorer link. So this is a server explorer. Okay, it's same for everybody, right? Then just go here and you can see these are all type of different types it supports. And now you know what you can ask, and exact details what you can ask, just go inside the type, and these are different details you can ask, and these are arguments to filter the results. Okay, now with these things, now let's go back to our actual problem statement and try to write a query to fetch all the details. That means the name of the character, everything. So the example what I gave you here, I have prepared exact GraphQL server, just a real-time example where there are a lot of backend APIs managed by GraphQL server, and these details what we are discussing. Now we will try to understand how to write one single query to fetch all these details in one single go by talking to the GraphQL. And this GraphQL I have hosted where it is right now on this URL. Okay, this is the endpoint to access that GraphQL. Okay, so we have endpoint ready, project ready. We know the requirements are also what requirements we need to really fetch. And now let's get started with query writing in the next lecture. Thank you.